And it leaves you, if you're not prepared, it leaves you with a lot of questions about what happens. And I love that we're having that meeting after this conversation about the diaspora, about how we interact, how we connect, how we can move past these things and move through these barriers. So please write down your questions and I'll take them on Monday. So now let's break. We got about 15-ish minutes to get up, stretch, talk, share, write your notes, and then have conversation with these two.
Last question.
2 questions.
There's 2 questions.
1 to 2.
Let me grab her, and you have the last word. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you for the nice opportunity. When I was coming back,
Speak loudly, please. We'd like to hear.
okay, when I was coming to United States of America, we went to the Minister of Work, Youth, and People with Disability. I went there in the country. I hear about that they have a platform where the diaspora from different countries where they can share different opportunities that they have and the support or another thing. I think you are among of the. So you are in the group that you are leading to, or
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Which one I wanted to know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. I just, it was again, I think we were reading together.
Yeah.
There is UN Diaspora Convention. So is there like African Americans, those ones you have built interest that have already like made up and said, possibly my future is with partnership with Africa.
Absolutely.
So that then we also have a profile of probably the African entrepreneurs.
Right.
Then we do like a connect. It doesn't need me to be in the US. I could be back at home. Then
Sure.
you, as the president, then whatever our leaders also down there
Right.
can continue connecting, and
Correct.
then we communicate and see which kind of enterprises. Because today I was in the lavender farm, and that lady was just telling me how all the regulations want to block her down.
Yeah.
And I told her if I had this kind of facility in Uganda, I would be a billionaire.
You will be.
Like, I would, there are so many possibilities I could do with that that kind of
2 things.
Yeah.
Let me share this with everybody, and I will get up and talk and do great things. 2. Let me just leave you with this. 2 things you must understand. Well, 3 actually. Number 1, understand your purpose. I'm gonna leave you with this. This is important. Understand your purpose. Okay. Understand your purpose. When you go home to your respective nations, you must understand your purpose. Number 2, you must understand how things work. And what I mean by that, I know I've heard some things about politics. You need to understand how politics operate. Really, public policy. That's what you need to understand is policy. I always tell people that.
Mhm.
And number 3, always ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask any questions. That's why I gave my email. It's just good that you're going to the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History, because everybody, I take members of my own organization to the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History. I take African Americans to the Charles H. Wright Museum and make the connection, because I believe in linking the wealth between the diaspora. You understand? And we have to understand we're one Africa. I'm gonna leave with that. And here's why I'm saying that. Because oftentimes, unfortunately, you have East Africans and West Africans. Sometimes there's a disconnect there. Not understanding that we're being exploited by the same enemy.
Yeah.
We're only one Africa. Doesn't matter if you're from East Africa, southern part of Africa, or West Africa. See, young people on the continent, young people have to bring Africa to the 21st century with the right perception. Doesn't make any sense if you're in Uganda. I think the average age in Uganda, median age in Uganda is like 16 or 17 or something like that. And your president is almost 80. That's a huge disconnect.
Yeah.
You go to Cameroon, the average age is 18, and their president is almost 90 or something like that. So we have a lot of work to do. But I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me. I told you I'd come. Thank you for coming at the last minute.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
And again, I'm gonna end right here. I'll stick around if you want to talk, ask questions.
Yes.
We can make that happen. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you.